So today we got a brand new dev blog from the people over at Fat Shark about the Darktide mission terminal, and basically how it works. This dev blog was a bit shorter, and if you played the beta you probably know most of the things on this. However, they alluded to a couple of things which I think could be really exciting for the full release of the game. So let's jump right into it. The initial start of the article is about the idea behind the mission terminal. So they wanted this one to be more dynamic and populated with missions that are from the predetermined narrative or emergent events that happen inside the world. So having a general rough storyline to play throughout the game is honestly nothing special. However, having limited time events and missions is an awesome idea to help make sure that players have plenty of variety and lots to actually still keep them occupied even if they've finished the main mission. They didn't say how these events actually work, but it would be cool if we could see something like an extra mission once a month. I mean, that's probably asking a little bit too much, but it's nice to be hopeful. One of the things that really stuck out to me when I was reading this blog is they said that they wanted to make sure that it was something that suited the Warhammer 40k universe and that it was more dynamic than what we're used to from the previous Tide games. They also said it's inspired by the analog nature of technology in Warhammer 40k. So the terminal is supposed to be going for like a space cop fantasy vibe where the world is alive, and the mission terminal, as they've described it, is ever so changing, reflecting the perils and urgency of its contents. So to me, the impression I get is that we may have a few different types of missions. Your main overall story missions, then events, and also side missions which will come and go. Because from what they've just described, you could actually try a mission and then come back and some of the other ones are not there. It can be ever changing and more dynamic. So that's what I get from that, which I think is a pretty cool system. That's going to help make sure that even if you've put multiple hours into the game, it doesn't feel as grindy, and it's very common for this sort of a game to feel very monotonous when you've put many hours in. So it does sound good in theory at least, but I guess we'll see how the execution goes when the full game releases in just a couple of weeks. Something else I did want to touch on from the article is also special modifiers. So this was something that was in the beta, but not everyone got to experience it. I spent a lot of time and I still don't recall having one of these missions. But just to explain what it is first, a special modifier is when you have basically something that will add a unique way of playing the level. So in the beta, this was the power supply interruption, which meant that you wouldn't have electrical lights. You would still have natural lighting from things like flames on the ground or sunlight coming through a roof. Like that would still be there, but your overhead lights would be gone. So some parts of some of the missions, you would end up only having your physical torch on your character, and that would give a very scary and unique feel to some of the missions. And we can see that there are a few different special modifiers out there. In the dev blog, we also got an image which gives us a little bit of a hint of some of the other special conditions that we could see in the game. One of them is called Hunting Grounds, which is this sort of dragon dog symbol that you can see. To me, my best guess of that one is that the elites, you may see a lot more of the hounds and trappers as the elites only, or something like that. I mean, I think that would be very annoying because they are very pesky and they take you out of the fight rather than just doing straight up damage. There's another one, which has an eye crossed out over it, so some kind of limited vision. My guess is a no HUD mission, because we didn't see an option for that in the beta, but we see that in some of the gameplay trailers and things like that. So I think that would be a really nice challenge, because you don't know how much health or toughness you have on your character specifically. There's also a hell of a lot more immersion that you could get when you play with that one. The next one has 2 guns crossed over, which means some kind of weapon modifier, I'm guessing. I think a ranged weapon only special condition would be very cool. I mean, if you ask me, that would be a great way to mix up the dynamic behind some of the levels, because then plague walkers in a horde become a really big threat if everyone is stuck reloading. And it would also involve a layer of planning, because then you have to allow for someone to have something that can take down armored enemies, something that can take down hordes of enemies. So that would be a very cool way to definitely mix things up. There's one last one, which I have got absolutely no freaking clue as to what it could be. It's just an upwards arrow. So take your best guess in the comment section down below. There's definitely more of something, but I have no clue what that could be. My best guess is maybe double enemy health, or double the number of enemies that you come across in the mission, something like that. So please let me know what you all think about these special modifiers and what some of them could mean in the comments down below. Some of the comments that you guys have been leaving on my last couple of videos have had some fantastic ideas, and I genuinely do love reading them. So that pretty much does it for today's video. I hope that everyone enjoyed it. If you did, then you know what to do. But I've been Kiv, and I'll see you all on the next one.